for Sean Mackey to strike! It's Calvin Miller against McGowan. Miller sends it in! It's Miller time, baby! Champions again! Falkirk have broken through the glass ceiling! After 15 years in the wilderness, Falkirk Football Club is once again a Premiership club!
This is Falkirk Daft.
With Behind the Wall, we're navy blue, are you?
Welcome back to Falkirk Daft. It's your preview episode ahead of the game against Livingston, and we are heading towards our old foes. We're heading back to the Spaghetti Hab, the home of the Set Fair Arena, or as I said on Monday, the Etihad now. And it's... I honestly, Ross, I thought we'd got bloody rid of them, and now we've got them again. Of course, I've got Ross Wayne still with me here on Falkirk Daft. Jesus, Livingston!
Yeah, I thought we were done with them, genuinely. Although I wasn't surprised they got through the playoffs because they did well. But yeah, we're back playing them again. And I tell you one thing, we need to do far better this year at playing Livingston than we did last.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're going to speak. We thought we got rid of Stuart as well, but we're going to get the only Livingston supporter we know, Stuart, who was with us all last season. I think he was actually no. It was just last season. We had Steve Stuart on 4 times last season, so we'll speak to Stuart in a minute. Get the take on Livingston, but first we've got to head to Birthday Corner. And we've got to say happy belated birthday to Joe Oliver, who was 80 the other day there, and that's from Ali and all the family. We know Ali very well, and she's an absolute star in the hospitality suite. You know her so well because she's in the hospitality suite, so you know her really well.
I do, yeah. Ali's fantastic, and yeah, she was a massive help on Sunday, putting people
telling you what to do.
Telling me what to do. Keep me right. Yes.
Aye.
Well, can I just say it was funny at one point when I think it was Lewis or Sean said to me, "Do you know where to go?" And I was like, "Of course I know where I'm going."
Of course you do. Yeah.
Shit in the woods. Also, happy 40th birthday to Claire MacDonald on the 7th of August, which is actually today, the date that this is going out. And that's from your husband, Ross.
Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to Lauren McCafferty. That's from husband John.
And we've also got a couple of Falkirk, former Falkirk players whose birthday is today. Now, I don't know if this first name is one you will even remember, John, but it's Mustafa Doumbia.
Right back.
He was a right back, yes. It was one of, I can't remember if he was a Hartley or a Ray McKinnon. I've got a funny feeling it's Ray McKinnon.
I've got a funny feeling it was a Ray signing as well.
Oh, man. He played, did he?
What's that?
Did he even play? I can't even...
He did. I'm sure. I remember him. I think he came off the bench, and I'm sure he had one start. I might be wrong. But yeah, his birthday. And also, somebody we mentioned the other day there on the review podcast, Jace Kabaya. Jace Kabaya. I can't believe you did that name. What's he doing, Mum? Let's have a wee quick Google of Jace Kabaya and see what he's doing. He must be still kicking the ball. He wasn't that old when he came.
I think he works for McGill's, the bus company now, doesn't he?
Let's see, he's playing currently for Grimsby Town.
No way.
Yeah.
So that's League 2 in England, isn't it?
Aye, he's had 1 appearance and 1 goal, and he played for Truro City last season and got 16 goals in 40 games.
That's not bad, actually.
There you go. So he's still the Truro City were in the 5th tier of English football. Where are Grimsby currently sitting? I think Grimsby's are sitting. League 2. Yeah, League 2. Yeah, you're right. So there you go, Jace Kabaya. Happy birthday to you, sir. Hope you're enjoying your time in Grimsby. But let's say before we get into the preview podcast with Stuart, let's say thank you to our sponsors. First of all, the Falkirk Football Fans and Training every Wednesday night, Stadium 8:30 to 9:30. Hook up with the T8s, get involved. If you're looking for pals, if you're looking to play a bit of football, get involved with the T8s and Falkirk Football Fans and Training, 8:30 to 9:30 at the stadium. And of course, thank you to Behind the Wall, Stay Local, Eat and Drink Global. Still tickets for the Livingston bus. They might have gone by the time we record this, but that will be leaving at 1:45 on Saturday, and Celtic away the week after is at 6 o'clock. Seats are still on sale, and there might still be tickets available for the Shweeji Hink I've totally messed that up. Would you think you had that? Would you think you had that? What'd you think of that? That was the ones. They're fantastic though. Scottish comedy trio. They're very, very good. They're in there behind the wall Friday night. Get your tickets now, behindthewall.co.uk, and loads of great entertainment to come at Behind the Wall, including a psychic. Brian is putting on a psychic. Now, I'm not one of these guys. I see these psychic guys. I'm not into it, but sometimes I go and I'm just like completely blown away with what they can do. But this guy, Jim Clark, is going to be there Thursday the 14th of August, 15 quid a ticket for that, and he's going to predict where we'll finish in the league apparently on the night.
Well, that we need to find that out, whatever the answer is. I've heard his name before, and he's very, very popular. I know he's been. I've heard his name at various locations around the town. So
well, I'll predict this right now. It's going to be a good night. So get yourself behind the wall on the 14th of August for the bold Jim Clark. And all the ticket details are behindthewall.co.uk. Right, okay, we've tried to avoid him. But he's back, the only Livingston fan we know. It's Stuart Barrie.
Hello, boys. Nice to be back. We're back.
I think at the end of the season, we were we won't see, because this was when we were absolutely pissing the league at that point, and we were like, yeah, won't see us. And then it got to, I just got, honestly, Ross, I got messages from Stuart, like, obviously, just constantly, in the run up, and I was just like, just don't talk to me. I don't want to talk about it.
At one point, I sent you the Samaritan's phone number.
I did. Listen, it almost came in handy. Stuart, listen, but before we get into this season, let's just talk and touch on the end of last season. And I mean, obviously, I think you came on here and pretty much conceded the league, but it wasn't to be. What were the emotions like? Because obviously from our end, we had the different perspective when we had that Linlithgow, the cup sitting in Linlithgow waiting to go either Livingston or Falkirk in the back of a carrier van. But what was it like for you at the other end?
So when we come up to the end, there was a foregone conclusion. Falkirk were going to win. You played great all season. You were miles ahead. But we, in typical Livi style, were determined. We hung on. We were battling away. And then, without being funny, but you ball crashed a wee bit. You lost some games, drew games that you should have won. And then suddenly we had this glimmer. And then we got closer and closer. And I think for about 15 minutes, we were champions in that last game. Now, how many leagues go to the last game? To be honest, it still felt like Falkirk's to lose, and that was proved right. You kind of knew Falkirk would come good. You had the easier game. I think the team were already down. It was just all going to be Falkirk's. But for 15 glorious minutes, I wouldn't say we were Ted Lasso believing, but there was like this, no way, surely they couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, the Falkirk goals went in. I think you were 3-1 in the end in the last day.
Yeah.
And, you deserved it. And the real stutter at the end, which will probably hold you in good stead coming forward, not to take things as, one, because you've been so dominant, and that might help you this season.
Sure, I've got a quick question just on that last game of the season you had against Thistle. So when you were champions for 15 minutes, like I can imagine, like, because I know what it would have been like if the shoe was on our foot. Was the crowd, like, were they singing Championes and all this kind of stuff?
No. There was none of that. It was a strange one. Somebody shouted out the score, massive buzz. There was a cheer.
Aye.
And everybody got really, really excited. And then I think we were like 15 minutes later, it was almost like a silence. Now, I've never been in a hurricane, but they say it's really calm before a hurricane's in. It was just calm. You could hear the birds overhead, the players shout, and everybody went, that's it. And you just kind of felt that energy coming out the stadium. The excitement was there, and then just filtered away.
Yeah, I mean, it was really. I mean, it was a strange old night because we didn't expect Thistle to go and obviously beat you, because we thought the pressure was going to be on us, and I think it really helped at Falkirk when Thistle obviously scored. I think that. Because don't think we scored. We scored, I think, not long after that as well, Stuart. So I think it really, really helped it in the stadium. Because if Livi had gone on to win that game, you would have just felt the supporters and the tension. So delighted that my good friend Mark Wilson and his team went and did a good job, and of course our current striker Brian Graham as well. Who could forget? He was currently manager there as well. At that time.
But Thistle out Livy that game. There was one point two players went down with cramp, and the bench were shouting at him to get the timing right. Because both of them went down at the same time, and you're like, even the goalkeeper had cramp. Now Shamal George has had the most cramp when we were in the Premier League, and I expect Jerome Traore to have cramp many times next season. But they kind of got the Livy gamesmanship manual and played it to a T that night.
Sorry, you've got Marvin Bartley back on your coaching staff this season, and Marvin very much readily admits to kicking a ball on the bloody park when they were playing Celtic to try and stop an attack. So yeah, he knows the book well. Let's talk about obviously recruitment then, Stuart, because and you came up. In fair credit, what a performance against Ross County in the playoffs, and obviously seeing off areas. It was Partick Thistle as well, who were obviously out on their arse by that point as well. But what a buzz! Did you make up to Dingwall for the playoffs?
No, being the Monday night and having work and the kids and all that, it was a bit much. But I also felt confident we would do it. The first game we were good, the second game we were brilliant, and they were rubbish. I regret not going up. It's one of those bits, you don't get too many moments like that, and fans on the pitch and things like that. So maybe
that's a season
I can go.
Yeah. But so you missed that. But look at you came up, Stuart, and absolutely 100% deserved. And you had our number all last season. Livingston, let's all hold our hands up. I mean, Livingston totally had our number last season. Let's hope it's a bit different. We've learnt some from that. But let's talk about your recruitment and the players that have come in. What have you made of it? Because from the outside looking in, it looks like you've brought in hundreds of players. But are they the quality, do you think, that will do it in the Premiership?
I think I had a quick check before this. We've got 14 players. That's a full team in subs. That's quite a lot. To be fair, we lost a few as well, and there's a few going to be getting shipped out, and you can see them. Their photographs don't appear in the squad picture, so you know who's on their way out.
Brilliant.
For one, you can just see there's no photographs. That's like no squad number. First wave of recruitment, I thought these guys are championship players. Your Zach Ruddens, Stevie May, for instance, Cammy Kerr. These guys, but even good ones like Conor McClellan, and you're like, but. Even though they were good championship players, and there's always the question, can they cut it in the Premier League? If anybody could get a better performance at a championship player in the Premier League, it's Davy Martindale. He just does that to players. He gets better out of them. And then we started signing a few new guys. Some from the Dutch league, some we didn't know. We got Dundee's Mohamed Salah, who's a brilliant player. He plays that Marvin Bartley really well. He's a destroyer.
Yeah.
He gives you an extra line of defence, and when I got him, you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is really good. And then some of the other players in the League Cup games, they started playing our systems really well. And then we got some more Premier League players in. We've got Adam Montgomery in from Celtic. Macaulay Tate coming back was brilliant. And then we've got a guy, Aidan Denham, who all my Hearts fans pals were emailing going, this guy's really good. It's just we've got hundreds of midfielders. But to be fair, Hearts owed us one after we gave them James Penrice and they pocketed $2 million for him without a wave or a pie for us. So just, the signings have been decent. I do look to Falkirk quite a lot because, I think you're going to be our main rivals for, that 10th spot, really. And I don't know if your continuity is a good thing. I don't know if your continuity means that you can play the same system. You got Arfield and he was the game changer, but I don't know, you guys freshened it up enough?
Well, we as you said, we've only signed sort of 4 or 5 players just now, if we include Connor Allen, who signed a pre-contract from Rangers in January. So yeah, we know John McGlynn still wants another 2 or 3, and I don't know if Livingston's business is done, Stuart. It maybe is, but based on the number that they've got in. But yeah, we probably feel as if we're still 2 or 3 players away from a finished squad and a finished starting 11, because John McGlynn has said that the players he expects to bring in will be of a quality that he expects them to be either starting or pushing for a start. There's no point bringing in a squad filler of any kind. So I think that's his outlook. I personally think the continuity is a good thing to a degree. There's maybe a couple in the squad who I was a little bit surprised that did get a contract for the Premiership. However, they have got us here, so they may as well have their opportunity to go and see what they can do from
And
that.
then if they fuck it, we'll just buy some boys in January.
Our first season in the Premier League, we were the surprise package. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and our momentum carried us over because the guys were used to winning; they didn't know how we lose.
Well, that's where our heads are at, I think, as well. To be honest, because you saw that from Sunday's game, and I did watch a bit of the Kelly Livingston game, and to be fair, I saw the Livingston of old from last year and a lot of the game there as well in terms of knowing how to dominate the midfield, do some dangerous things on the ball as well. I'm really looking forward to Saturday. I don't think it will be a million miles away from the games we had last year. However, as John said, from our side of things, we just need to hope that the quality that we have added in Brian Graham and Scott Bain, that potentially is the difference maker.
Well, hopefully Brian Graham, using his experience, certainly against a team like Livingston, who he knows how to play against, I think that's going to really help us. I thought Jamie Brandon and Stephen Kelly were pretty big losses for his Stuart. I thought Jamie Brandon was one of the outstanding players in the league last season.
And he was outstanding on Saturday as well.
And
he was really good. I can understand, he's probably going to get more wages at Kilmarnock, and he's going to maybe get a better chance there. But he's kind of a local lad. He's from West Calder, which is not far from here. So I thought that might have kept him. And we kind of, like typical Livi style, kind of not saved his career, but gave him a platform to go and improve. So he moved on, which is a shame. Stephen Kelly's an odd one. He's away to some Z division in America when he was capable of playing in the Premier League. For me, he's that kind of Craig Sibbald type creative player. And look how well Sims has done. We got him for you guys, and he's went on to have a great career in the Premier League, and Kelly could have had the same. So we'll miss him because the second half of the season he was our main man. Yeah.
What are you thinking? You kind of said, is it 10th then, Stuart? Like Falkirk are saying, like for us, I think, well, for me and Ross, certainly it's like 10th is the goal this season. What are you hoping for more?
Yeah, I think we might get 9th. So we'll book Dundee into that 12th position.
I would agree. They're,
I think, and I'm not just saying it because you guys, I think we'll be above Falkirk, but I think Falkirk will be in 10th. So it's then who will be in 11th. And I was tipping Motherwell to be down there. But I might have to rethink that somewhere along.
I think that's the result on Saturday night maybe says more about the Rangers team than...
Fair point.
Yeah. It's very interesting actually. I was speaking to Andy, I'm just not long off of doing Super Scoreboard, and I was speaking to Andy Halliday. They were talking about obviously the game there, and they're saying how Motherwell actually played the same system as Rangers but just played it so much better. So I'll be interested to see how they develop as well. Anyone in that Falkirk team that worries you ahead of Saturday, Stuart?
Where do you want to start? You've got your keeper's improved. I always hated what Calvin Miller played against us. I think he's so creative, so direct. He's really stood out for me the last couple of games. And I have to say, Adam Montgomery as a left back is fantastic at going forward. Having played at Celtic, he's not had to do too much defending. So Saturday, for me, got caught out a wee bit. But I'm sure he'll focus on that. So I think our weaknesses might be in the fullback positions where you guys are really strong going down the flanks. Brian Graham's another one as well. He's always good for a goal. And local lad Scott Arfield, he's going to have probably his whole family sitting in there. So he's an absolute nap. Now, I don't bet, but I would put my house money on him scoring on Saturday.
Well, let's get into it then. What's going to be your prediction for Saturday?
2-1 Livi.
2-1 Livi?
Yeah.
2-1 Livi. Ross, I mean, obviously we're going to harken back to the horrible times of last season where, it was 10 points out of 12 that Livi took from us. Do you think we've got enough in the tank now to go at? Have we learnt enough from those games and bear in mind the whole new Livi team?
No, I think we will have. Listen, the change in Livingston's team might be another factor why we do maybe have a bit more. I don't want to use the word luck, but maybe a bit more
Savvy?
penetration against them. Yeah, So we're a bit. I'd like to think we're a bit more streetwise. The other thing we've not mentioned yet, and I think this will be a big thing for Falkirk this time, is the pitch. The pitch is going to be a big improvement for, well, Falkirk play on it for a start. So, and as much as I think Livingston probably did use the old pitch to their advantage, that probably is a bit of a leveler to a degree, because it's a brilliant pitch. Listen, fair play to them for doing it, especially if they might have to rip it up like us next summer. So, but I think that will be a big thing for us. We are used to playing on this standard of 4G, and I think that could be. I'm going to go 2-1 Falkirk as well. That was the scoreline I had in my head, and I think Stuart's right. I think Brian Graham. I know I've talked about on the review show that they didn't have a great game, but this is the kind of game Brian Graham would probably pop up and score.
I wondered, because I thought that Ross McKeever might start after his performance coming off the bench, but the more and more I'm talking myself into is that Big Brian, with it being Livingston, will probably play now. Because just for the physical. Now, Ross put himself about against really well against Dundee United, but Brian has got that streetwise what I would call Livingston mentality to kind of play against Livy. So it's probably,
I would have to say though, if you look at the combined age of the Livy centre halves, they're older than us, John, and that's saying something. I would play pace against them if it was up to me. But that said, one of my big worries against Kilmarnock was pace, and I thought the two of them had a really solid game against Kilmarnock. They handled it. So Brian Graham's never going to beat them in a sprint.
No.
So you're going to get pace on.
I'll be two. Dylan McGowan and Danny Wilson still at centre half, yeah.
Right,
Ryan McGowan. I'm saying
Ryan McGowan, they're still there, and they strolled through last season. They were excellent.
They were the best, probably the best centre halves in the league last season, actually. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see some wily old minds do battle on Saturday. Arfield and Graham against McGowan and Wilson. Wow,
it's still a game on the Livy pitch, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, that's our prediction. I think it might be a draw. I think it might be a 1-1 draw, and we'll take another draw and remain unbeaten. That sort of.
What kind of game would it be? Because we had some ding dong battles, and we had some really tight games. Where, to be fair, I thought we were defensive and played it well. I've got a feeling we'll go for it a bit more on Saturday.
Well, that'd be interesting. I think that would suit Falkirk. I do think that would suit Falkirk. But we will wait and see what happens come Saturday. But we're due one. We're due one, for goodness sake. Surely to God. No. Well, fingers crossed for Saturday. Stuart, thank you for coming on. But before you go, we've got a new feature on Falkirk Daft, because this is the preview show, which now goes out on a Thursday. And we've got a new thing where, how well do you know your club? Now, I really should probably get some sort of fancy jingle made up for that, but I've not got that.
Somebody that works in radio, John.
If only I knew someone that worked in radio, exactly, I could get a fancy. AI can do it for you. I'll just get AI to make a fancy jingle for me and see what we get. But we're asking, how well do you know your club? Now, Ross has 10 seconds. You're going to have 10 questions. You have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as you can. You've got Dundee United to beat. Fiona and Rab came on last week and got 3 points, Stuart. So you've got Dundee United to beat to go up the table. So I'm going to put the time on the clock, and Ross is going to have your questions for you. And how well do you know your team? Do you want to play?
Right, let's go for it. And I get $5,000 if I win.
No, you don't get $5,000 if you
want. Free pie.
You can pass, and it's very much like the 5k minute rules. You can pass, and if we have time at the end, we'll come back to the questions you passed on. I've got to accept your first answer. Right, Stuart Barrie, are you ready to play for Livingston?
I'll give it a go.
Your time starts now.
Okay, Stuart, what were Livingston originally called when formed in 1943?
Ferranti Thistle.
Okay, in 1974, they changed their name then to what?
Meadowbank Thistle.
And what year were Livingston therefore formed?
1995.
Okay, question number 4. Who was the manager before David Martindale?
Still David Martindale. No, that was Oh, Gary Holt.
Okay, and what season did Livingston win their first Challenge Cup?
What would be 2016?
You said 2016. Okay, next question. What is the record victory for Livingston?
2-0.
You're going to say 1-0, that would be brilliant. Who has most appearances for Livingston since
Pittman, the Hitman.
Stop Pittman. What is your record transfer fee paid?
Time! You can answer it though, we'll give him the time to answer.
Two bottles of Higham Brew. No, it was £60,000 for Shamar. No, I'll go back. It was £100,000 for Barry Wilson, I think it was.
Okay,
right.
So let's see how you did. So the questions that you got then. So what were Livingston originally called when formed in 1943? As you said, Ferranti Thistle. So that got you 1 point. In 1974, they then changed the name to Meadowbank Thistle. So 2 points. What year were Livingston then formed? 1995. So 3. So that's actually tied with Rabin Fiona. Who was the manager before David Martindale? You quite rightly said it was David Martindale, but it was Gary Holt. So that was 4. And what season did Livingston win their first Challenge Cup? It wasn't 2016, it was 2014-15 was the season I was looking for there. What is the record victory for Livingston? Surprisingly, this shocked me too. It was 8-0 over Stranraer in 2012.
I remember now, yeah.
Who has most appearances for Livingston since 1995? You quite correctly said Scott Pittman. So that gave you 5 points, and then on the very last one we had was record transfer fee paid. It wasn't actually the amount and name you said. It was £200,000 for Lyndon Dykes.
Wow.
We got him on a free.
Well, according to Wikipedia, Stuart, that was.
It's debate. It's debate. Here we go.
He was on a free because Queen's got a percentage of the 2 million.
Uh-huh.
Our first transfer in donkey's years was Shamal George. We paid £60.
I'll hold my hand up there. You still got 5. You still got 5. You still got 5 anyway. So you are top of the league as it currently stands for our away fans coming on the pub.
Well, likewise, we were top of the league for a good couple of hours on Saturday night, and that was joy. On my Twitter, we welcome the chase.
Brilliant. Stuart, was great to have you back. Well, great to have you back on. I say that. I thought we got shot of you, but now we're back. Another 3 times of this season. Of course, maybe not, because we'll be top of 6 and you'll be bottom 6. But we'll wait and see how good. Stuart, always a pleasure to speak to you on Falkirk Daft. Thank you so much for coming. Give us an insight into Livingston. Stuart Barrie, everyone on Falkirk Daft. Thank you very much.
Good guys.
So that's it. Looking ahead, Livi, Ross, just before we move on from that, any changes will you make the team, or do you go with the same team that got the draw against Dundee United? As I said with Stuart there, my thoughts would be to bring in Ross McKeever, but just with it being Livi, it's probably best to keep Big Brian in there. Eh?
I liked what Ruby said earlier on Monday's podcast. I was away to go home, Graham Norton there. I liked what Ruby said. So I think we need legs. I would start Nesbitt,
right,
and I would keep Scotty on the bench, and I would keep Brian Graham on for the, as you said, the streetwise element, or vice versa. Arfield in the 10 and Ross McKeever up front.
Interesting. We'll see what John does. I mean, who knows? We might even get, we're recording this, earlier in the week, but there might even be a pen. We'll see a pen.
Of course. Well, that's the other thing. We might see a signing prior to the weekend. You never know. Know.
I'm guessing they would be on the bench, or they would have to get match for it. But we will wait and see. But it's all happening in Livingston. As I say, tickets still on sale for that now. So get involved, get along. There'll be plenty of seats at Livingston. There'll be none of this ballot nonsense at Livingston. You get as many bloody seats as you want there. But yeah, no, look forward to it. And we are due one over them. I know we were joking with Stuart, but we're absolutely due one over them. So fingers crossed we can do it this Saturday at the home of the Set Fair Arena. Brilliant. Listen, thank you so much for listening to the preview show on Falkirk Daft. Remember, get us on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces and see Stuart as well, who was wearing a shirt for some unknown reason. I don't know why. But there you go. So Stuart, you can see his face along with our faces on YouTube, or obviously you can get us an Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Tell your pals, if you don't know someone that listens to Falkirk Daft, where have they been for the last couple of years? If you go, hey, listen, do you like talking about Falkirk or hearing about Falkirk, well, we've got a podcast for you. Fuck that true crime stuff. Come and listen to Falkirk Daft. So yeah, get us, tell your pals. And if you want to sponsor the podcast, we do have sponsorship opportunities available, and we're very cheap, as you could probably tell. So yeah, if you want to jump on as a sponsor, as well as, you know, Falkirk Football Fans and Training behind the wall, we could be talking about your local business in the Falkirk area, and we always say we keep it in the Falkirk family every time. So drop us a DM, or you can email us either john@falkirkdaft.co.uk or ross@falkirkdaft.co.uk, and we'll get to that then. Brilliant. Listen, thanks for listening to the preview episode. Do you know what? I forgot to say the last episode just totally went out of my head. We didn't finish off with the catchphrase, which is an absolute nightmare from us, but we'll do it right now ahead of the game against Livingston Saturday. What do we say, Ross Wayne?
Expect unexpected, everybody. On the Bairns.
Up the road.
This is Falkirk Daft.
With Behind the Wall. Stay local, eat and drink global.